All right, so you just quoted a reference about the son that sits on the right hand of the Father. I'm playing catch up from last week for YouTube, but it says, the son sits on the right of the Father, who sits on the left?
That's going to be me. No, I don't know who sits on the left. Actually, there was a point where Jesus' disciples, and this is where I'm getting that. That's why I was joking around about that. There was a point where Jesus' disciples, James and John, they were brothers. They got their mom to come to Jesus and have him promise to have her boys sit on the right hand or on the left. And what she did was she came up and she bowed before him, and the Bible says she worshiped him. And he said, "What would you like?" And she goes, "That my sons would sit on your right hand and on your left hand in the kingdom." And they're kind of sitting back watching mom do this stuff, and all the other disciples are getting mad about it because they were constantly fighting over who was going to be the best in the kingdom. And so Jesus said that that's not something that's given to do at this point. That was something that was in his Father's hand. And so he wasn't going to allow that, or not allow it, but he was not going to guarantee that for him. And so I don't think that we have any indication of who's going to be sitting on the left hand in heaven. When the Bible says that Jesus sits on the right hand of the Father, has the idea of Jesus is the one that is enacting the Father's will. That Jesus is when you think of the phrase "my right hand man," it's the idea of somebody that is working for you and again enacting your will. When you actually see Jesus in the context of the throne room of God, it's in Revelation chapter 5, and it talks about light on the throne in chapter 4, and then in chapter 5 it talks about Jesus coming out of the midst of that light, appearing out of the midst of the throne. And so there's not actually a situation where there's two thrones and one's up there in heaven. When you're talking about Jesus and the Father, the Bible says that talks about the fact that they're one and that they are the same God. And so when you see the one instance in the Bible where Jesus is clearly connected with the throne of God and with the Father himself, he's coming out of the light in the midst of the throne. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
I always thought that there wasn't a left hand in the sense, because he's not going to share his glory with anybody else, and so someone like second in command sitting next to the Lord, I'd never thought that was a thing, but it's interesting that Jesus doesn't answer him.
Right,
He said,
yeah.
I don't have the permission to say that, only the Father knows. So he doesn't say that it's not possible.
Right.
That's kind of a weird thing.
yeah.